Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candidina every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your kind support. Today, we are joined by Vikas Raina, who describes himself as a Kashmiri Hindu, a genocide survivor, a son of a martyr, and a green energy expert. Welcome, Vikas.
Thank you, Minaji. Thanks.
Yeah. So, friends, I'd like to tell you, see, because of social media, we make a lot of good friends, and we learn a lot about what's happening in every part of India. And much of my knowledge about the Kashmir has been through Vikas, who's been regularly updating us on whatever's happening in Kashmir. And there were a lot of changes that we were very positively looking forward to, since the beginning of this year. Suddenly, I did see this tweet from Vikas saying that the SC dismissed the curative petition of Roots of Kashmir demanding the investigation and genocide of Kashmiri Hindus in 89 and 90. We were again denied justice. How difficult is it for Supreme Court to order SIT? 33 years and the fight continues. So tell us, Vikas, what is happening? I mean, I thought, with the center interfering and, there would be good news that things are changing in Kashmir. Can you just put it all into perspective for our viewers?
Okay. Thank you for calling me.
No, your voice. Your voice.
Is that fine now? Is the voice fine?
Yeah, just keep it closer to you, the mic.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is a very unfortunate and sad part that after 32 years also, there's not a
I think you need to hold your mic a little closer to you.
Is it
Yes,
fine now?
yes. Yeah, it's fine. Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is it's very unfortunate that after 32 years also we are still waiting for justice, because three times the attempts have been made by different organizations in Supreme Court to consider the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus as genocide, order an investigation, and punish all those who are responsible for our exodus. But this is the third time last week this has happened, that outrightly they have dismissed the petition. I don't know how difficult it is for any judiciary to look into this. Can you believe, Meena? There has been more than, I have a record of more than 100, 1,240 killings, which has happened. Not a single conviction so far. Not a single case. Even this is travesty of justice which has happened to us. Now, what happened initially was the government was not favorable at that point of time, but after 2014, things started moving little bit. You can see that there are a lot of cases which are happening. Even High Court in Jammu has taken a sumo moto cognizance of certain cases where they have said that these should be investigated. But it is very little. The expectation with current dispensation is that at least we're not demanding anything else. There's nothing we demand. We don't demand money. We don't demand skies. We don't demand stars. We demand justice. So government is helping in a bit, but it is not enough. And obviously the judiciary is not listening to us. We are demanding a SIT where investigation can be done, where all those, it's not only we're talking about investigate terrorists, but also the bureaucrats at that point of time, the politicians who were hand in gloves in 89, 90, and they were the major force behind these terrorists. So we are hoping and will continue our fight. We are a very peaceful community, and we'll do it through judiciary, we'll do it through law. we never took gun in our hands, but we always took pen in our hand because we are a very educated community and we are very peaceful and nationalists to the core.
So Maya is asking you why, even after 30 years, are Kashmiri Hindus still in the receiving end? The government has changed. People are not aware. Even Trump is ready to make a genocide museum. Yet courts are blind. System is with them. Now, here, because what I'd like to say is that yesterday we had a director from Kerala who was
Mhm.
earlier called Ali Akbar, who
Mhm.
did Garbapsi, and he is now
Mhm.
Ramasin. You would have heard of
Mhm.
him. He's made
Yes,
a
yes, yes,
movie on Mopla massacre. Now he
yes,
was
yes.
saying, even the a new movie called The Kerala Story, which is talking about love jihad and the
Uh,
fact that
Conversions,
women were
yeah.
sent to ISIS. Yes.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so so he was saying everything, including the censorship board. Now we're not talking about only the Kerala State Censorship Board, but also the Central Censorship Board are not with them. They don't want to hear the story of the Hindu. They want to hear the story only of the jihadi. If it is a
Very true.
story which is about Muslims, they will welcome it and they will release it. Here, they are telling the director, you remove all the points, that are pointing towards any atrocities done by the Moplas, which
True.
means there is no story in it. So it's like your Kashmiri files where you have only nothing. The jihadis have, the Muslims have not done anything to the Kashmiri Pandits. So then there's no story.
Yes.
So,
See what
so
there's
yeah, so the story, even in your end, the story is not being listened to by anybody, including the jury. The jury, yes, the
so
judicial.
what I'll start with. There's a famous dialogue in Kashmir Files. You have seen Kashmir Files, where Pallavi Joshi says, "Government किसी की भी हो, system तो हमारा ही है." So
Yes.
basically, it is that ecosystem which is still there.
Mm,
Inside Kashmir, you talk about Kerala, you talk about central agencies, bureaucracy. The ecosystem is the same which was at the time of Congress.
yes.
So to change that ecosystem, it will take a lot of time. It is not honestly easy to change such kind of ecosystem because it's in the mind and they have an agenda. They have an agenda, and there are a lot of people. What we were talking about, actually, Hindus are opposing Hindu cause only. There are some Hindus which are namesake Hindus. They are getting paid from outside, from to disturb India, to actually demean Hindus, and this is part of that ecosystem. What we call that toolkit system also.
Yes.
So it's part of that toolkit only. They will never hear. This is the first country where majority is suffering. Hindus are in majority in this country, and we are suffering. We are not able to say our word. You saw what happened in Kashmir Files when it got released. Who were the people who were opposing Kashmir Files? 99% of them were Hindus itself. I understand if a Muslim or anybody opposes. Why is a Hindu opposing a genocide story of a Hindu?
Mm,
This happened to us 30 years back. It can happen to anyone today, tomorrow, day after, 10 years. So this ecosystem has to be defeated. See, the present government is doing a lot of stuff where uh, what I call is a kind of cosmetic thing they are doing. But behind the scenes, as you said, the censor board is not allowing. It's not only Kerala; it's a central censor board also, which is not allowing this Kerala story to go through. So who are those people? They
No,
are
not the Kerala
people
story.
from the.
No, not the Kerala story. The other movie on the Mopla massacre. The
Okay,
Kerala
okay.
story is stuck
So
in the
so that is
Kerala itself.
also a
Kerala police
massacre of
are,
him. Yeah.
fighting the
Case.
Kerala
Yeah, yeah,
story.
yeah. So what I was trying to say, that movie is also about Hindu massacre.
Yes.
So they will never want to see what happened. I'll give you a simple example. Narrative has changed after Kashmir Files. The ecosystem for the last 30, 32 years was had created a very false narrative, which got why they got so much worked up and why they got so much angry on Kashmir files is the reason that they got defeated because the truth was shown. I'll tell you honestly,
Can you tell me
Vivek ji
about
has
your own experience?
regarding Kashmir files.
Yes, no, about the Exodus. How your ancestors would have
I'll
been
tell you
affected.
I'll tell you a small story. I was a kid. I was 10 years old when we left Kashmir in 1990. I used to live in a locality where there were more than 200 Muslim houses, and I was the only Hindu house. So what happened in early '89? I was a kid at that point. The 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 waves
How
started
old were
changing.
you at that time?
10 years. I was 10 years old. In 1990, I was 10 years old. And what happened? The waves started changing in '89. The kids who used to play with me directly told me on my face that we are not going to play with you because you're a kafir. And we have been told, instructed, and taught in mosques that you don't have to be friends with kafirs. So this was the venom which was filled inside the kids. So understand the situation and mental uh, mm, imbalance of at that point of time that they directly told me on my face that we are not going to play with you. So it was something which was slowly gripping and all. It was a planned thing. Exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, they wanted Kashmiri Pandits to be out and they did it with meticulous planning. It actually started in '86. There were riots in Anantnag where mm, uh, almost 100 shops of Kashmiri Pandits were um, set on fire. There were temples which were broken in Anantnag. It was in '86. And that after that time, it all started. I still remember at 4 o'clock, my father came to me and told me that we have to leave this place. Me and my sister were sleeping in a room. So I cannot tell you that what was the feeling. For initially we thought we were kids. We thought it will be kind of picnic and all that. We'll be going
Yeah.
out and coming back. So honestly, we don't. We
Know the
had a
seriousness.
yeah. We don't. We considered it as a vacation.
Yeah.
We are going. I used to travel quite often to Jammu because I had my nani's house in Jammu. So I used to travel there before migration also in '80s also when I was a very small kid, 3, 4 years, 5 years. I used to travel with my mom. But it was a different feeling at that point of time because everybody was leaving. You wake up in the morning, you come to know that यार वो भी निकल गए. Father and my grandfather used to talk. उनके फ्रेंड भी निकल गए, ये भी निकल गए. So it was chaos all together, and we left with one suitcase where some of the documentation was taken and some of the clothes were taken. We had a 8 room bungalow. A cut to when we landed in Jammu, we were 8 people in one room. My father and mother used to sleep in kitchen. We had a one room kitchen at that point of time, and that too rented one. So they used to sleep in the kitchen, my father and mother, and my grandfather, me, my sister, my grandmother used to sleep in one room. So it was जो बोलते हैं ना राजा से रंक. It was that kind of sinking. Well, it didn't sink in that one day I have my own room, I have my own luxuries, I have a lawn in front of my house, I have other things, and next day I am in a room with 8, 9 people, and that was reality at that point of time. We used to travel almost 2.5 kilometers, and the weather was also different. Jammu weather is just like Delhi, and Kashmir, it's very pleasant. almost, in the first year of Exodus, 400 to 500 people died because of sunstrokes, because they were not used to that kind of heat.
Yeah.
More than 600, 700 people died in tents because of snake bites,
Mm,
because they used to sleep in the tent. Somebody used to bite them in the night while sleep. They used to die like that.
mm.
So it is not that we were only killed by terrorists. We were killed. So our genocide is a story of cultural genocide. It's a story of financial genocide. It's a story of obviously criminal genocide. So we have robbed from our cultural legacies. We have robbed from our homeland. We were killed. We were raped. We were kidnapped, and number of things happened. Then in 1997, this same thing, not in Kashmir but in Jammu area, my father was assassinated. He was an educationist. He was a principal at the higher secondary school, which was in a very terror infected area, and he used to work there, and he used to educate people there. He used to go door to door and tell people to send your kids for education and all that. And he was targeted along with two more Kashmiri Pandit lecturers. They were targeted only because they were Hindus and they were
Mm.
nationalists. So there was no other third reason. If somebody says no, 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 terrorists doesn't see the religion and all that, then they are fooling you. We are kafirs for them, and it is written in their book that it's their right, it's their duty to kill those kafirs. So let us don't go anything rosy or something, talk about some rosy things and all that. A Kashmiri Pandit killed in Kashmir was only killed because he was a nationalist Hindu, nothing else. So this is how things changed. Matlab, I'm talking about, I'm giving you a picture from the kids' perspective. The things change like within one day we fall from heights of comfort to uh, to a ditch of distress, sufferings, and pain.
It's very strange, because earlier, our films like the Shami Kapoor era, it was all shot in the beautiful locales of Kashmir, and
Mm.
Kashmir was what you call money churner, for
Yes.
us, for our country. After that, things changed, and you talk about the scenario that has happened. And what happened was people like you, were sent in different directions all over India and perhaps abroad as well.
Scattered. Yeah.
Yes, and scattered all over. And never was anyone there to cry for you or to even give you a shoulder. Now that this government, Modi's government, has come, they are trying their best to rehabilitate you. But still, there's a problem because you are getting no protection. Can you tell us the status now?
I am. I will tell you. I was after my 12th. I went to Pune, and I was there for more than 22, 23 years in Pune. So, but I had a point that I'll come back and serve here in my homeland in J&K state. So last year only I shifted here 2 years back, and I am in Jammu at ground zero. I am not in Kashmir. I travel to Kashmir. I am at ground zero, Jammu. See, I told you it is how the government cannot give protection to everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, it is humanly not possible. First thing. Second thing is the government may be doing a lot of stuff, but the people who were earlier there in that ecosystem, they are still there. Government is plucking them out, but it will take a lot of time. So today the status is that obviously because of this hybrid terrorism, which is what do you mean by hybrid terrorism? I'll give you a simple example. initially what used to be there, the terrorists were identified in the sense, uh, we know that this guy is a terrorist and we cannot meet him or we cannot see him. Now what is happening with these hybrid terrorists? They are people like me who are who come online and give interviews and give this thing, then they go and take a pistol and kill somebody, then go home, sit in their home, have their dinner, have everything, go to college. So these are kind of, it's a new generation terrorism which is happening in Kashmir. Obviously, the target is that they don't want Hindus there. It is not about only Kashmiri Pandits. There are a lot of Hindus who were killed from UP, Bihar, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana. So they don't want Hindus there. The only solution, see, government will do whatever is in their capacity, but it is very difficult, honestly speaking. Only solution is the dilution of Kashmir. Dilution means that I live in Pune, a Maharashtrian also lives there, a Kashmiri also lives there, a Bengali also lives there. So similar thing
Mm,
has to be done in Kashmir.
mm,
Otherwise, there is no solution because they have. I'll give you a simple example. The guy who is 30 years old today, he has not seen any other community.
mm.
There's no pluralism there. It is only Islamization of Kashmir, that uh, only a particular religion is living there since last 30 years, 99%. So till we do this kind of dilution, things are not going to
Nothing is going
change,
to happen.
because this is nothing is going to happen, because it is government cannot protect everybody.
Mm.
For example, they give security to me. Tomorrow I have to go to school, I have to buy groceries, I have to do things and all that. And second thing, those ecosystems which are inside the establishment, government is doing a lot of things where government is suspending, even putting people under in jail and all that, for like government officials who are terror sympathizers and all that. But it will take a lot of time, and honestly speaking, it is not conducive at this point of time that Kashmiri Pandit will return back and live there.
You
And
know,
second thing, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yes. You know, because days after Israeli filmmaker Nadav Lapid called genocide of Kashmiri Hindus vulgar propaganda, a terror group issues hit list of remaining Hindus in Kashmir. That
hmm.
is the Resistant Front, TRF,
Yes, TRF,
Pakistan's new terror outfit,
yeah,
and an outshoot of the Lashkar-e-Toiba elite
Lashkar
group.
Toiba, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, released a so-called hit list with the names of 57 Kashmiri government employees. Look at the guts, the courage of them to
Then
come and
look at
interfere in your country and tell you which are the people you should kill.
this is basically the work of people who are inside the establishment. How did they got that list?
Yeah,
They are the same people who are working in offices, like you have AG's office, or you have education department, or you have agriculture department, or you have a PDD power department. There are people, they are there are a lot of people who are terror sympathizers, and they disclose the names. So that is where these things have to be investigated and plugged in, because one, it creates a panic.
yeah.
Okay, second thing, it gives a very lousy feature of the establishment itself. Third thing, regarding that Nadav Lapan, what he said, see, he's a paid agent.
Yes,
He lives in Israel and talks
yeah.
about
He's
Palestine.
a Hezbollah
Yeah, yeah, he talks
sympathizer.
about all those things. जो अपनी कम्युनिटी का, अपने कंट्री का नहीं हुआ, तो how would he understand our pain? So even I have tweeted at that point of time saying that he is he is no one to comment on our situation, and he doesn't know the truth of a Kashmiri exodus,
mm,
because he as a person doesn't stand with his own country.
mm,
So there are a lot of people. What I am trying to say is external pressures also, external people, external interference also in Kashmir, because Kashmir is a boiling point.
mm,
It's a hot pot.
mm,
So everybody wants to a pie of Kashmir. uh,
mm.
right from you have people from UK, you have Canada, you have people from US, leave Pakistan and all that. Obviously, they have a direct hand into this kind of situation. So it is because the ecosystem is inside the establishment also, and it's outside the establishment also. So government should honestly think about plucking these holes, and and taking these rats out of these rat holes and put them in jail or kill them. It's as
That's
simple as
what
this, because
actually the the punishment that should be given should
the
be very
deterrent should
very
be, yeah,
severe. Hmm,
yes, the deterrent should be
hmm.
very severe.
Yeah, that
So
they should not repeat.
putting them on, yeah, putting them on jail, and they eating our taxpayers, they gaining the weight on the taxpayers money, they eating biryanis there and all that stuff. That is not going to help, because Kashmir is a different story. Because the amount of venom which has been put inside their minds, you won't be able to take out like this. You have to finish things which are, finish those supporters of terrorism, finish those sympathizers of terrorism. Government is doing, like Hurriyat is gone now. You must have seen there's no Hurriyat and all that. Hurriyat doesn't have
Also, the
any
stone pelting has stopped.
stone pelting has stopped. There are a lot of things which government has also done, but they are not enough that it will make a Kashmiri Pandit feel secure,
Yeah,
because they tried being there, like these employees, 600 6,000 employees who are there. So when you get a list out in social media saying that these 50 people are to be killed, so it is a situation of panic.
mm,
Then people will, even if it happens in any, I'm not talking about
yeah,
Kashmir, if
could
tomorrow it
happen
happens in
anywhere.
Delhi also,
Yeah,
so the people, the names of those people, and those people will move from that place.
yeah, yeah,
So at the end of the day, it is life versus other things.
yeah.
You
And
will
each one is
always
attached
choose your
to
life.
a family. Yeah,
Yeah, each one have a family, and when it comes life versus other things, then people tend to choose
yeah,
life, because these are covered, spineless
yeah.
terrorists. They will
They
come,
have no qualms.
and yeah, they don't have any spine. They will come and fire you uh, mm, at the back and kill you. So what will you do?
Mm. So tell me about this, this OIC, which is the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Apparently, India has now hit out at them for the POK visit. They call them the mouthpiece of Pakistan and that it has no locus standi in matters relating to Kashmir. Early on Monday, OIC General Secretary met Pakistan's Prime Minister during his 3 day visit starting from December 10 to 12. Now, India on Tuesday condemned this OIC and a visit to Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir and his comment during the visit to Pakistan. We strongly condemn the visit of the OIC Secretary General and his comments on Jammu and Kashmir during his visit to Pakistan. Now, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Arindam Bagchi replied to the media
Bakshi.
queries, yeah, regarding Taha's visit. He further said, let me reiterate that OIC has no local standing in matters related to Jammu and Kashmir, which is an integral and inalienable part of India. Any attempt of interference and meddling in India's internal affairs by OIC and its Secretary General is entirely unacceptable. Now, here, what I don't understand is if you have organizations like this that are on such friendly basis with Pakistan, can't they just be, removed, eliminated? Why do they give them a thing at all? A legal stand at all?
See, now you said, oh, what is OIC? What is the meaning of OIC?
Mm,
Because see, ultimately that organization, obviously, what our defense MEA has said that they don't have any local stand
Mm,
in POK. See, Pakistan is a very integral part of this Islamic terror front. What is OIC? You have all the 52 countries where terrorism is on peak.
mm,
So a Qatar is funding terrorism in Saudi. A Saudi is funding
mm,
terrorism in Kuwait.
mm.
Kuwait is funding
They're calling
terrorism in
Zakir Naik to talk.
Malaysia, in Pakistan, and all that. They are all hands and blood. Their hands are in blood. And this, see, OIC should have gone to Ahmadiyas in POK. They should have gone to Balochistan. They should have spoken to those people, but they won't. They won't be allowed to do that,
Mm,
because if you see in POK what is happening, the insurgency is on peak
mm.
because of the reason they say that is funded by India and all that. So they have their own local issues. There's no development. There's no you come to Kashmir and you have you been to Kashmir, Meena?
No, no.
You come to Kashmir, you see the infrastructure there, and compare the same with POK. There's nothing. There are no trains. Even in POK, there are a lot of
Let
locations
me
where there
let
are.
me tell you a small something very on the light note.
Yeah.
Many years back, I was based in Dubai, and I was planning to come to India. So, in a tweet when Omar Abdullah tweeted something about the beauty of Kashmir, I said, "See, I would love to visit Kashmir." And he said, "You can come here. There's so much of beauty and apples and this thing. I invite you." Something on that thing.
Hmm.
That is the time when I didn't realize what sort of a person he is. Slowly you get to know about these people.
No, they are the
From
you know
then, yes, to now,
yeah,
you
yeah,
see
and
these are the people who cultivated this kind of
these are the
ethos.
kingpins. These are the kingpins of this terror factory. Honestly speaking, they are the supreme commanders of these
Yes,
terrorists. Even today,
yeah.
even today, this the case is same. I don't know why we get what we say, why we don't take on these people head on. I still
Yeah,
haven't understood
yeah.
this thing.
Why exactly?
This is, yeah, I still haven't, because they destroyed Kashmir,
Mm,
like Mufti family and Abdullah family. They have destroyed Kashmir
mm.
since 70s, since 71, when Sheikh Abdullah became the
And while their children
yeah,
studied abroad,
yes. And see, the irony is that a kid of a poor farmer or a poor person is doing stone pelting there, and their kids, every one of their kids is studying abroad, living abroad. They don't care to come back to Kashmir. I have a lot of friends which are who are kids of these politicians and all that. When we left in 90s, they directly left to Dubai, UK. There were no kids there. They protect their kids and they destroy the life of poor
and
Kashmiri Muslim.
they acquire government land and make it their own.
Government lands, they are they are goons, honestly speaking. The thugs, like you have a thug sitting in Delhi, Kejriwal,
Mm, mm,
they are the same thugs.
mm.
Kejriwal, since last 8 years, have been squeezing money in from Delhi. They have been doing it from last 30, 40 years, 50 years.
So Martin
Abdullahs
is
and
asking,
Muftis.
yeah, Martin
Yeah.
is asking you, is the West supporting Pakistan against Kashmir?
Yes, definitely. West is supporting Pakistan against Kashmir. US is supporting Pakistan. UK is supporting Pakistan. Canada is supporting Pakistan. Yeah, there are a lot of countries, and it's very evident. See, if we Google's also, you'll come to know that what is the kind of support they are doing. Because India is emerging as a superpower now. West will never, ever let its guards down and see India as a superpower. And what they have, who can they support against India is? either China or Pakistan. We see a lot of rivalry between US and China, but this is all fabricated. Internally, they are doing a lot of stuff.
Mm, mm.
So it's like कि तुम मेरी खुजाओ पीठ और मैं तुम्हारी
Yeah.
खुजाता हूँ. So it's yeah. So it's like that only. West is obviously supporting, but there are a lot of, but the narrative is changed because since Narendra Modi has come, the 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 vision and of India has been elaborated in a way that it is on the verge of becoming a superpower. And second thing, the leadership qualities of Mr. Modi are superb and they are recognized across the globe.
Mm.
So West cannot, West, I'm talking about America cannot digest this thing.
Yeah.
America cannot digest France being too close to India, Australia being too close to India, other countries being being too close to India. America will keep on peddling this thing, funding this thing. You saw what happened in Afghanistan.
Mm.
So yes, they are.
Where is Omar Abdullah's family? Vinny is asking.
Umar Abdullah's half family is out of Kashmir. Nobody is living in Kashmir. Farooq Abdullah is also in Delhi. And now the parliament has also started. Umar Abdullah also is in Delhi. And they keep on switching from London to Delhi and all that. They rarely go to Kashmir and all. And their kids are all outside. They are in UK. Some are in Australia.
Who is this Bitta Karate? Can you tell us? Because Neelam is saying the main culprit roaming freely in Pakistan, Bitta Karate should be punished severely for killing our innocent people.
Bidda Karate is not in Pakistan. Meena, you must not be knowing this thing, but I am one of the petition filers of against Bita Karate. I have filed a case against Bita Karate, and the first victim, Bita Karate, Mr. Satish Tiku. So I am fighting that in High Court
Okay, okay.
right now. Bita Karate is in Tihar jail since 2019 in money laundering and terrorist activities. Bita Karate is the same person who on camera said that he has killed 22 Kashmiri Pandits while an interview with BBC or some other channel. I don't remember. So he's a butcher who is in Tihar jail since 2019 now, uh, till date, and
So are you
not
a lawyer
in.
as well?
No,
Vikas,
I'm
are
not
you
a
a
lawyer.
lawyer?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an IT guy basically. I'm not a lawyer, but
So you've taken up
through
his
my
case, you
lawyer,
said Tiku's
yes,
case?
yes, through my lawyer is Utsav Bans.
Mm,
Utsav Bans is the same guy who was a whistleblower in CGI Ranjan Gogoi case.
mm.
So he's a Supreme Court lawyer, very young, dynamic lawyer, and he's fighting that case. He's from session court now. We have reached to high court, and we are hoping for justice. It's a long fight, and we hope that he would be hanged by neck till death because he has killed a lot of
See,
Kashmiri.
because you've been,
Yeah,
living in Kashmir for some time. Uh, what are the obstacles you faced, and what are the good things and the pros and the
see,
cons?
I'll tell you. I honestly see. I have when 90s in 90s when we left, I didn't went back to Kashmir till 2021. Okay,
Last year?
but in 2021, yeah, last year I went to Kashmir. I saw a lot of changes. Matlab, you have flags, you have national flags everywhere in Kashmir. Okay, tricolor. You have highways, you have flyovers where you have huge painted national colors, tricolors, and all that. I saw little bit of change on the ground. People are really fed up. Common people are really fed up with this kind of uh, uncertainty since last 33, 34. You must have seen in I think before 2016 also, 2017 also. It was something before 370 was there. There used to be a lot of hartals, band, almost 365 days. Within 365 days, 150 days would be, you have hartals, you have bands, you have all those. But now there's nothing like that. There's no band. Even somebody calls for a band, it's not done and all that. There are certain things which are changing. uh, Government of India is trying hard to change the narrative, but it will take a lot of time. You have a lot of people now, Kashmiri Muslims, who are coming out and speaking against Pakistan, against terrorism, against
This is
other
happening
things.
because in Kerala also. Now there are many ex-Muslims.
Okay, ex Muslims. So, but here are because all those who are in Kashmir are actually ex Muslims, ex Hindus only. Because 3,300 years back there was no Muslim. It was a Hindu, this thing. And people, through your medium, I also want to say there will be a lot of people who will say that, यार आप क्यों भाग गए, आपने बंदूक क्यों नहीं उठाई, आपने ये क्यों नहीं किया. Let me tell them, for last this is our seventh exodus. For seven exodus we have been fighting. In 3000, in 300 years back, there only remained 11 Hindu families which did not convert to Muslim, and I am one of the vanchas of those 11 brave families. We have been fighting a lot. We were a minuscule, you understand, out of 10 people, 10 to 1 ratio was there. But we kept our identity there. We kept our country's flag high there. Well, we have seen a very
So,
tough life.
yeah. Karthik is saying, my close family friend was transferred to Srinagar in early 1989, and he and his entire family was told to leave with the gun pointed to them with just clothes. The jihadis took everything from them. Since he was a Tamil Brahmin, probably he was left alive. The entire family came back with just their clothes and only some money.
This is the story of everybody. This is what happened. This is what happened. I'll tell you, we had a new house, and a month before we left, we were doing some work in our house, and there was one guy who used to, uh, बिकॉज सर्दियों में क्या हो जाता है ना, वहां पे वो नलके वलके सब जैम हो जाते हैं, माइनस में हो जाता है. ही यूज टू गेट वाटर फॉर अस. ओके, तो पानी लाने वाला बंदा था वो हमारे घर पे. ही टोल्ड माय फादर डायरेक्टली ऑन हिज फेस. ही टोल्ड हिम दैट, सर व्हाई आर यू डूइंग दिस, आपको तो वैसे भी निकलना है, ये तो फिर सारा मेरा ही हो जाएगा. Directly on. And this, there are many incidents like these where people said, uh, why are you doing this, you have to leave. So it was all pre-planned. I told you, no, we left with one suitcase. We even didn't have uh, school documents, because it was a winter vacation at that point of time, so nobody could go to school and all that and get those documents and all that. But it was at that time, there were good people also who allowed us to go, and without documentation they admitted us in the schools and all. So it was it was a utter chaos. And what Karthik was saying was the right thing, that they took everything, and उन्होंने बोला कि तुम निकल जाओ यहाँ से. And there was there was a common dialogue along, मतलब the neighbor with whom we were living since 100 years, he will come to your house and say, देखो मैं तो आपको बचा लूंगा, but अगर mob आया तो what will I do. So this was right from Srinagar to Baramulla to Anantnag to Sopore to everybody. This was the same modus operandi which they applied to everyone. हम तो आपको बचा लेंगे, मगर अगर बहुत सारे लोग आ गए तो हम क्या कर पाएंगे
Yeah,
फिर.
correct. So it's also the fact that, see, families that were most vulnerable would have been ones with daughters wives,
Yes,
young
yes,
wives.
yes, yes. That was the only reason that our parents left. It was the only, they were not honestly worried, and we are not cowards. They were not. It takes guts to
Mm,
leave everything which you have been creating since 100 years, and leave that and come to some other place and start from zero.
mm,
That takes guts.
mm.
Nobody takes that kind of risk. It was only because of our mothers, sisters, daughters that our parents were forced. Not forced in the sense our parents thought that no money, we will survive, no house, we will survive, no luxury, will survive, but our daughters, mothers, sisters
Have to be safe.
should be safe. That was, people used to say directly. There was a nara, na. One was Reliu, Galyu to Chalyu. Reliu means या तो मिल जाओ, convert हो जाओ. Galyu means मर जाओ या तो भाग जाओ.
Mm,
There was a nara. ऐस क्या चाहे, मैं कश्मीरी में बोलता हूँ. ऐस क्या कैसे कश्मीर क्या बनेगा पाकिस्तान, बट कोरोसान और बट लड़कों बगैर, मतलब कश्मीर पाकिस्तान बनेगा कश्मीरी पंडित औरतों के साथ और पंडितों के बगैर, मर्दों के बगैर. तो दिस वाज uttered through on mosques.
mm.
This was in processions. They used to say this thing. So our parents took decision, and that was the right decision at that point of time. Otherwise, a lot of us would have been killed. And second narrative, I want through this channel also, I want to bust that the narrative of Jagmohan ने आपको निकाला, right?
Pardon?
Jagmohan was a
Mm,
governor at that point of
mm,
time. उन्होंने आपको निकाला.
mm,
हमने तो नहीं बोला था ये. यू सी एवरी मुस्लिम, इफ यू इंटरेक्ट विद एनी
mm,
मुस्लिम, विल से कि ये जगमोहन ने, ये कॉन्स्पिरेसी थी.
mm,
अब द फर्स्ट डेथ व्हिच हैपेंड, व्हिच वाज
mm,
टिकलाल टेपलू, who
mm,
was the general secretary of BJP,
mm,
happened in September 89. Okay, our exodus happened on 1990, 19th Jan. Okay,
mm,
for 4 months, Farooq Abdullah was chief minister from September to Jan. What did he do? Nothing.
mm,
टिकला टपलू was killed. नीलकंठ गंजू, justice,
mm,
जिन्होंने मकबूल भट्ट को फांसी की सजा
mm,
सुनाई थी, he was killed on the road. MK that Ganju, which is shown in Kashmir files also,
mm.
the first scene, that blood soaked rice and all that,
Yeah.
he was killed before 90s. And we left Kashmir by 19, maximum people left by 19th Jan 1990. And you know what, when Jagmohan joined, he joined on 22nd. We
Mm,
left on 19th, he joined on 22nd Jan.
mm, mm.
So he was not in a picture also at that point of time when we left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how can he conspire to take us out? So this is narrative which everybody of us should know these details and bust these fake narratives which they have been peddling since years now.
Karthik is asking, wasn't Rubaya kidnapped in December 89? What was that
Yes,
about?
that was a drama.
Yeah, that's a
The
drama.
the the locality, the area where she was kept was my area. I used to live in Sopor, and she was kept Sopor guest house. I was very young, but there were a lot of people who were knowing that thing at that point of time. So it was only
Hoodwink.
to barter this thing, and it was a political thing where almost 12 terrorists, dreaded terrorists, were bartered, and she was released, and these terrorists were released at that point of time. So it was all drama. It is unfolding now also. There's a case going on. If the person, I didn't remember the name, if he goes to Google also, he can see The statement of Rubia Said itself has been taken by courts, and it was a sham, and everybody knew where she was. So it was a barter. It was nothing else. There's no
So
reality in
because
that. Yeah.
Maya is saying, Vikasji, you have survived and living to tell the truth. Also, divine force is there. Whatever they have done to wipe you all out, the divine will prevail. Islam is like Duryodhana, ready to be wiped out. So that stage has reached, is what Maya is trying to say.
Yes. True. Very true. Very true. Uh, Evil never wins. Truth always comes out, and it will take time. सच कभी पराजित नहीं होता. It takes time, but it comes out and all that. I remember when Kashmir Files released, a lot of my friends called me and said, भाई आपने कभी ये बोला ही नहीं हमको कि इतना कुछ हुआ है वहां पे. And honestly speaking, Meena ji, whatever is shown in Kashmir Files is only 1%.
Person, yes.
1%. Imagine if whole thing would have been
Hmm.
shown, so what will happen? Matlab, it is only 1% and people got so much, and it's all truth. He has
So you're
not
glad. So
fabricated
you're glad
anything.
that the Kashmir files happened.
Yes, I was part of Kashmir Files. I was in Mumbai at that point, after Pune. We did interviews with the victims. I was part of that team. So I know Vivek ji since I think last 3, 4, 5 years. So he has done a tremendous job. There's a lot of research. You know how much data he has currently? 7,000 hours of interviews with the victims, like me, with the real victims. इतना डेटा कोई एजेंसी, कोई गवर्नमेंट, किसी के पास नहीं होगा
And they
जितना
call it
उनके पास है आज की
propaganda.
डेट में.
And they call it
Yeah, he
vulgar.
researched for 2 years, 2 years. Then he made the movie. So it is, if it's a propaganda, and if they think that truth is a propaganda, I want this propaganda to be repeated again, 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 and again, because it will open eyes of, there are a lot of people down south, or which were out of Kashmir and all that, when we crossed the tunnel out of Jammu and all that, who were not knowing anything about this.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as you speak, see, you're opening the eyes of many more.
Yes, and this is very important. You must have seen I am very vocal on Twitter also. This is very important to open, to to tell the truth. Nobody can. I lost my father. Is that a lie? Is that a propaganda I am doing? If I'm telling you that I lost my father because of terrorism, is that a propaganda? No, that's not. That's a truth. I lost my father, yeah. I saw my father's dead body in my arms
No,
with
in which
11
case,
bullets.
see, we can ask him the same question. So, Nadal, didn't the genocide, the Jew genocide happen?
Yes. No, he will never answer that.
Yeah, because anyway,
So
he's not on
then
the Jewish side
yeah,
also.
yeah, and maybe he won't. So Holocaust is all propaganda. Then was Schindler's List a propaganda movie?
Mm.
Is Pianist a propaganda movie? So what is he talking about? It's all, they are all paid agents, social media agents, who are paid to defame truth. Today it's my truth as a genocide. Tomorrow it can be your truth.
Yeah.
Day after tomorrow it can be. They suppress. But अभी हिंदू सप्रेस नहीं होने वाला है. अभी हिंदू जाग गया है, and will bust every myth which they create.
You look at the fear that Shah Rukh Khan has as he releases the teaser because he's gone
Yes,
to Mecca,
Vaishno
he's
Devi.
gone to
Yeah,
Vaishnava Devi, and also the
Vaishno
fact that,
Devi.
see, yeah, people have seen through even the trailer how people treat their own women. Okay.
Are you see now
So,
what has happened to them? Yeah. And second thing, what is there if he comes to Vaishno Devi? Why is he hiding his face?
yes, exactly, exactly.
So what is there to hide? What is he fearing? Matlab, in the sense, I don't know. If you have so much of guts, you are a hero, yeah. So then why are you hiding your face? Look at what they are promoting. This song is happening and all that. It's a soft porn.
Yes.
Nothing
And
else.
if you're talking about
Nothing else.
Pashtuni women, do they dress like this? If he's a Pashtun,
Yeah,
then does he?
then, where is
They
Burqa
will.
then?
She'll be stoned to death.
Yeah. So what are they promoting? How would they? Why don't they learn anything? Why doesn't Bollywood learn anything? Yeah. When will they learn? Look at the cinema in the south, how it's graduating, which levels it's going. And Bollywood is not going anywhere. They are still into these dances and all that. There's no content in the movie. The
See,
class is not there. Yeah.
Vikas, in a sense, let me just get back to what we were saying earlier. See, what happened to the Kashmiri pundits is something very similar that happened to Sushant Singh Rajput. Sushant Singh Rajput
True.
was an outsider who came into Bollywood, and he was excellent. Like in everything, whatever he did was more like an engineer.
Superb actor, superb
Yes, very
actor.
intelligent person, God fearing. Now, what happened to him is exactly what happened to Kashmiri Pandits because
True.
nobody was there to support him. They were only trying to get Vasuli out of him. And the more successful he was, they wanted his money, and which he was not willing to part with. And that's how
And
they started
and the,
sending honey traps and things like this into his life
yes, yes,
and
yes.
drugging him
And
to death.
and the biggest thing is that in Sushant Singh case, they belittled everything.
Yes,
So they everything was belittled. Even he was dragged. He was a dead man. He was dragged into every muck.
yes,
But they are ruthless, matlab, shameless people they are. And he was a poor actor, यार. He was an actor, and he was. I think industry में मेरे को लगता है कि वो he was the most educated person. मतलब एजुकेशन के हिसाब से भी अगर बोलूं तो he was the most educated person, Sushant Singh Rajput.
mm.
And he was similar thing happened to him.
And
Now
you
they
see,
now
why I'm making that
everything is
comparison, Vikas, is because after that he was ostracized by the complete
yes,
fraternity.
yes, yes, yes,
Not
yes.
one person spoke on his behalf. Now, when your genocide happened, who spoke for you all? Nobody.
Nothing.
Yeah, it was
You know
forgotten.
what what happened. What was our when our genocide happened? I was very young. I was very small at that time. I was a kid. But when I used to speak to my father regarding this thing, and a lot of people, my uncles and other people, they used to say, कि when we left Kashmir, there was one thing which was in our mind that once we cross that tunnel and reach to Jammu or Delhi, there will be havoc in whole India. That is the biggest pain we have. Nothing happened. No one spoke about us. No one even they didn't show any sympathy also. It was just it is the biggest. Where have you seen
Disappointment.
5 lakh? Where have you seen 5 lakh people homeless roaming in whole country,
Mm.
and nobody is even willing to acknowledge that this has happened to them? So it is that pain which is always in our hearts.
Yeah. Honestly.
India didn't stood with us at
Sad.
that
Yeah.
point of time.
Mm.
So whatever you were saying regarding Sushant Singh Rajput, the same thing happened. Bollywood
Yes.
didn't stood with
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
Even there were actually people who stood with him were common people,
Yes.
normal people,
The public. Yes.
public. But in our case, the public also didn't stood with
Mm.
us. मतलब आप देखिए ना
That is
32 साल के
again
बाद.
because the main
Yeah.
reason is because the mainstream media was not highlighting it. So people were not aware, as you said. As you go down south, we did not know the Kashmiri situation. That could have been the reason. I'm just wondering.
Nee, that was one of the reasons because media was anyways not active at that point of time. It was not like today's media. So today, if something like this happens, so it will be a much bigger news, and there would be much bigger response. But at that point of time, half of the country doesn't, even after 30 years, didn't know what happened. It is not about at that point of time, it is about maybe after 30 years also we had to make a movie, we have to create a
Exactly.
movie
For it to come
to
out.
show our story, because people didn't know that, because the narrative was built that वो तो खुद ही निकल गए, उनको तो जगमोहन ने निकाला, वो तो ऐश कर रहे हैं, वो तो अरे we started from zero यार.
Hmm.
Every Kashmiri Pandit who is successful today, touch wood, every Kashmiri Pandit is successful today, but they started from zero in
That
19,
is their intelligence.
1900.
Leave that aside. How they came up and how they became well off, that is their, it is not something to be questioned. See, an important point, because here, Hira is asking you, because, sir, what next for the victims of genocide? Is government helping them? What happened to their lands, houses, properties? Do they have legal documents, property registration in government office? I think this is one of the best questions today.
This is what's her name? Hira. Hi, Hira.
Hira.
This is government has recently in 2020, government has created a portal where, see, we don't have any land papers, we don't have any other thing. Either our houses are burned there, either there's a distress sale, that because at that time we needed money, we needed our kids to get education and all that, so a lot of people sold in peanuts their houses, so that's known as distress sale. So government has actually created a portal where we can register those distress sales, and government will look into this. It's a process which is happening currently. The
Good.
properties, houses, yeah, so they have started into and there are almost more than 200 or 300 properties which have been recovered also.
Oh, very good.
So but it's a long process, but government has done this kind of initiative, acknowledge that there were a lot of distress sales and all that, and the lot of land was grabbed also. कब्जा भी किया गया था बहुत से जगहों पे. तो government has also done a lot of things in solving those problem and giving land back to the owner. So government is doing its bit, but it will take a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we are running out of time for the session. Because I hope you will be coming for more sessions, because what you
Sure,
have
sure, sure.
told
No
us,
issues.
yeah, told us today is absolutely so. It elucidates everything that's
It is
happening in
directly
Kashmir.
from my heart,
Yeah.
Meena. It's
Yes,
nothing.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all from my heart because there are a lot of emotions attached to all those things which we are talking about.
Yes. Yes. And Karthik is saying the emotional reactions of everyone who has seen the film is the reason that none of the people were aware of the brutality of the genocide. They must have been told that people were sent out. That's all. So
Yes,
on
yes,
this,
that's
yeah,
true. He's true. He's saying true because a lot of people, almost I think 80% of people didn't know what exactly happened,
yeah,
and this brutality which has happened, and there are so many brutal things which you saw in Kashmir files. They are nothing. If I tell you stories honestly, you'll cry here only, because a lot of barbarism and brutality has happened to us and
yeah.
to our families, and coming out from that and earning our own without anything, earning our own living, supporting our families. So I think all the Kashmiri Hindus, I salute to them. They are heroes for me, everybody.
Thank you for that, Vikas. And we will meet you again next week. We'll
Thank you.
discuss backstage what we can do and
Okay.
fix it for the next week. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
thank
taking
you,
your
thank you,
time.
Meena, for giving me this platform, and a lot of people actually were commenting, and thank you guys. We need a lot of support from you, and thank you, Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you so much and good night. Jai Hind.
Good night.
Good night.